Okay, we are in action here. Hi, guys. Kurt Ordowski, Yankee T News. Another wonderful night. It's Thursday. And as Jesse Kelly would say, it's almost the weekend. You can smell it. So I'm ready for the weekend. How about you? But we'll certainly have a lot to talk about on Friday night as well. So I just want to double check here. I need a second to get my buddies to be paying attention to what's happening around here. Okay. So, Jason, okay, invite sent. Come on, get online. Okay, DJ Ricky. Hopefully, he'll have his technical difficulties straightened out. It's frustrating because DJ Ricky really has a lot to talk about. A lot that I would love to sink my teeth into with his love for conspiracy theories, for lack of a better term. So hopefully we'll get to talk to you about the Gemstone Files, if anybody hasn't heard about that. Okay, so that's sent. Now I need to get to DJ Ricky. Okay. He may be busy, though. He's out a lot. Okay, see if he's available. And then Eric. So I just want to tell you, so that Eric and I had a real interesting conversation earlier today about, if it's about Eric and me, it's a talk about religion. Just want to let you know. So I've been reading a book. I would love to do a segment on it. It's called Revolution by Eric Metaxas. And it's been a bestseller. I think it's still up there. But the key is that Eric Metaxas really took a thorough approach to telling the story of the American Revolution. I haven't even 20 pages into it, and I'm really amazed at some of the things that I'm learning. So hopefully Eric will jump in. So invite sent. So here's the thing. Eric is a Christian Scientist and devout. Now that said, I know a few people who know more about more different Bibles than Eric does. So a conversation with him can be very, very interesting. Hey, Michael.
Yep, I'm just heading back home.
Heading back home? Okay.
Sam's back that I come up a few days later.
I see. Okay, sounds good. Actually, it's a quick trip to Hogwarts Academy, as I like to say. Okay, so the thing is that his commentary about the problems of the Catholic Church. So let me just pose it to you in the simplest terms. What you have with Protestantism, okay, is a commandment, if you will, for independent thinking. How we, I wish I could show it to you. Let's see here. I don't know if I should do that. See, well, let's work. Let's see here. Trying to pull this off somehow. Not working. This darn green screen.
You okay, Dad?
Yeah, I'm fine. So anyway, the book is Wide as the Waters. Eric has been telling me endlessly to get this book and read it. The story of the English Bible and the revolution inspired. Never, ladies and gentlemen, were truer words spoken. This is an incredible story. So to understand that the King James Bible didn't happen by magic, it was a product of hard work supported by, that's right, King James. Now, if you were to look into King James, who was King James II, I would say he was a person of questionable moral character. Nonetheless, his contribution to Christianity stands, I would say, unassailable. So the point is that this book explains how, from the Protestant perspective, the Bible became a central document for both religious faith and learning. Not so with the Catholic Church. In fact, I'm trying to remember this name is this is one of the unsung names here. Let me see if I can find him quickly. Oh God, please! I got to find this name. And in the event, there was one person who was critical to making this happen. This individual had originally approached the Catholic Church about making an English translation of the Bible, the Holy Bible. And the Catholics said, no way, buddy. which was the Catholic Church's way of saying we're going to keep control of the whole narrative concerning the Bible. So, you know what? He said, too bad. And so he got other people to support the idea of an English translation, which was a huge project. Since then, there have been many other translations, and Eric could comment on those as well. It's quite remarkable. But the fight over translating the Bible into English reflects this fundamental tension. I hate to say it, it still remains today, between the Protestant churches and the Roman Catholic Church. And the problem, in Eric's view, has been that the Roman Catholic Church has been tyrannical. I mean, for what it's worth, in Protestant churches, there's a process of selection, and there's actually voting and discussion, a board of directors. So there's an internal process. The process, if you will, for managing the Roman Catholic Church is a lot more constrained. You have this person called the Pope, and then the College of Cardinals. And okay, I will get to this later. Where are you? There you are. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, we had to have a cat butt in the picture, didn't we?
Cat pelvis.
Cat pelvis.
Cat pelvis. Yes.
Really.
So,
all right.
We are live on Facebook as well, and as we are another edition of Yankee News. All right, you're gonna have to get down, honey. I'm sorry.
This is going to go on all night long. Just
it might. She gets mad when I take her off the table, though. She gets mad. She gets offended. She's gone.
All right.
She's
so anyway,
now.
I was.
What are we talking about? What am I interrupting here?
Well, what you were interrupting was an explanation for how should I say this? The English translation of the Bible came into being, and I was getting to the point that English translation was instrumental to the creation of the United States of America.
Oh, okay.
And that my good friend Eric, who may or may not be joining us, has complained long about the problems with the Catholic Church. He's not a fan. See, Catholics were good. Look, we're all, what do we say? I say students of Christ, the best way I would put it. Okay. And he understands and respects that, but you have this organizational superstructure which is tyrannical in its composition. It is involved politically, way too much in America and other countries, and that's not the business of a church, but that seems to be the business of the Roman Catholic Church.
Okay.
So Eric is not a fan of that.
Well, there was a time when the Roman Catholic Church ran the roost out in Europe back in the Middle Ages, of course.
Right. And there was this conflict. And so,
not a good time.
So the funny thing is the conventional, I wish I could find that guy's name. Darn it. Is it Wade? Yeah, no, I'll get to him. While you're talking, I'll be looking. In any event, we are used to thinking of Martin Luther as the beginning of Protestantism when he nailed his which I'll call it an encyclical on the church door in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but that's not. Don't worry, you look fine. You look good.
It's not me. It's not me. I'm trying to position my camera correctly on the other end.
Yeah,
Facebook
you're there.
Not really doing it right. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you struck.
Go ahead. I am listening.
Yeah, right. Say, wait a second. So, what's going on, Michael?
I'm heading back home, but I'll be back in a few days.
Okay, I'll see you later. There he goes. Say hi to Sam for me, his roommate.
Uh-huh. There we go. Now we're good.
All right. Okay. Wait, what happened? You're still fiddling with it.
I'm fiddling. There. Now we're good. Okay.
Sure.
I'm trying something different. I got some advice from a guy named Long Island Audit, Sean Paul Reyes, who I met recently, and he told me I got to start filming horizontally instead of vertically. So I'm trying it.
Horizontally instead of vertically. Okay. Well, the pictures are horizontal in orientation.
Right.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's what I was talking about. But the point I wanted to get to is that we fail to recognize, or Eric put it this way, the first Protestant, so to speak, was not Martin Luther. The first Protestant was, in fact, the guy who fought to get the English translation of the Bible done.
Okay.
Yes, and I must find his name. John Wycliffe, that's his name. So, history, America owes a huge debt of gratitude to John Wycliffe.
Isn't that something that somebody eventually would have done, even if John Wycliffe hadn't?
You know, even in grand things like this, I'm going to say that timing is everything. It's
Yeah, okay.
you know,
So it's not about what, it's about when.
yes, it is. And so if you want to look at it another way, God had looked at the situation and said, we need an English translation. And so the forces were created, if you will, to push John Wycliffe in that direction at great expense.
I see.
All right, that said, so here's this inspires another point that I want to make. Think of the American Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think of the issues that drove the American Revolution. Do you think that American Revolution could have happened, say, in India, in
Definitely not.
Venezuela, Mexico?
No, I always say it was I always say that it was the Atlantic Ocean that gave us the balls to take on the English.
Well, I think the more important point that I want to hammer on is that there was a collection of issues that people were debating. You had a society. The American society was considered more highly literate than other countries, even though we weren't really a country. And for all that, we had this heightened appreciation that we were, for lack of a better term, entitled to liberty. But the point that I want to make also about this is that there's a moment in time, 1761 to be precise, and there was a young man who was 25 years old at the time. His name was John Adams in Boston. He was a lawyer, and he happened to attend a trial that was taking place concerning an onerous demand that had been imposed by the British government. There was this issue with the smuggling of sugar and other goods. The only way that the British government figured that they could stop this smuggling, okay, Eric, yo, boom, hey.
There is.
Okay, so I'm expanding on some of the things we talked about earlier today. How do you like them apples? Okay, so anyway, I mentioned this the other night very quickly. It was in the mistruth thing that we had the broadcast on Monday that didn't go right, and then I followed up with the other thing. Okay, so do you remember me talking about the writ of assignments at all?
No.
Eric, remember the writ of assignments?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, because I was rushing it and I did it kind of like the tail end. But so the issue was that there was the first concern of the British government was that in the colonies there was this smuggling of sugar to avoid paying the tax. So there was a trial on this matter.
Ocean gave them balls to do.
What?
It's another thing that the ocean gave them balls to do.
It's no, well, okay, at the same time, Britain had the balls to send people over to America and try and enforce their laws.
Sure.
Right? So,
but it must have been costly for the British to try to enforce laws in the colonies.
Well, about cost, it's called hold that thought. I got something out of that too. Okay, in any event, what I want to get to here is in this trial, the lawyer who was, I guess, defending those who'd been accused of violating the writ of assignments law. This gentleman, James Otis, had postulated in that trial with John Adams sitting in the courtroom the following phrase: certain inalienable rights. That's where the phrase first showed up in 1761. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it seems to be, I mean, the concept of inalienable rights actually originates from John Locke. But the idea grew and took on life in America.
Mm-hmm.
And James Otis was the first one to argue that there was, in fact, this legal concept called certain inalienable rights that applied to the people who lived in America. Well, everybody else for that matter, but he
Apply
was,
for everybody ultimately.
yeah. And I mean, this has been part of the appeal, I guess, or was supposed to be the appeal of American liberty around the world. So that's where that started. Right.
That's where the movement should continue. I mean, ultimately, we obviously, I'm America first guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I always talk about MAGA. I'm a MAGA guy, but I'm also a MEG guy, which is, of course, make Earth great too.
A what? Make Earth great?
It's called MEG, make Earth great.
Huh?
I can't call it make Earth great again because Earth was never great. America was great, so we can call make America great again. But the Earth has never been great in terms of inalienable rights. And so,
inalienable rights for the Earth.
once we get MAGA going,
You mean people of the world?
yeah, then it's make Earth great. Let's ultimately everybody should be under the Bill of Rights. Everybody should have these inalienable rights. Ultimately,
All right. Well, Earth.
the Russians deserve it too. The Chinese people deserve it too.
The Earth usually refers to the planet itself.
That's correct.
Not the people on the planet.
Well, it's a geographical area, so it makes my little anagram work well. My little MEG, make Earth great. Or you MWD, then make the world great.
Yeah, let's keep working on that.
But that would be, isn't that what? Yeah, WMD is weapons of mass destruction, so we can change the W and the M around. We make world great. So this is a long-term thing. It's a big picture thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make our own country great again first. But down the road,
okay.
There's no room on this planet for thugs and dictators in the long run.
It's a never-ending problem, and it seems like thugs and dictators keep showing
No
up.
argument there.
They keep showing up. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, that situation will have to be resolved. It won't be in our lifetime. It'll be at some time in the future.
Well, it's when we fall asleep. It's when we don't pay attention to what our responsibility is for.
That's what I mean. We're either going to go to a dark ages again, like it was in the before the Middle Ages again, or we're going to have a free world, one or the other.
I think it was Glenn Beck who put this forth. It's a cycle, so he makes a circle, and I'm trying to remember how it was structured. I think it was revolution, freedom. Then you get the freedom becomes established, but then we forget about our freedom. We become sloppy. Tyranny comes back again. We have a.
Oh, you're talking about the George Orwell's book, Animal Farm.
No, it's a historical theory.
Yeah, Animal Farm is a depiction of that cycle.
What?
It starts off with the animals breaking free and a revolution, and then little by little the pigs start to come in, and it becomes oppressive again.
Yeah, I don't think it quite followed the same thinking, because the historical cycle is something that can take more than several generations to unfold.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's an author, George Orwell's attempt to make a microcosm of it.
Well,
so it's still the same pattern.
That. So in any event,
the oppressed. So in other words, our United States government in the 1780s and 90s was probably one of the most benevolent governments in the history of the world. And now, as we know, it's become one of the more oppressive ones, actually. So,
right.
Well, I was just listening to a podcast just before I came on. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. And so I guess the current state of affairs globally is that, he gave a number. I can't remember the amount of, he said the world was consuming oil at like X amount of barrels a day. And that region or whatever was producing X amount of barrels a day. But there's been a probably about a 20% decline in the amount of oil that is being shipped out of the Gulf. And I think Tucker said something to the effect that the numbers didn't spike like they were supposed to. In other words, it should have been over $5 or something, or maybe even more than that, dollars a gallon at the
Mhm.
gas pump. And that didn't happen. And so they're also now talking about, like, we're in currently, for all intents and purposes, in a proxy war with Russia. And I understand that now China is going to be entering the fray as well.
How?
Um, well, you'd have to watch the you have to watch the podcast, because
Mhm.
there are a lot of different things coming into play. And so if that happens, Japan and Taiwan will probably fight, on our side. And I think Europe doesn't really have much. Well, Europe isn't currently very happy with the United States. I think that they would fight for the Western forces only because they like Russia even less. So,
That would be
that-
an understatement.
right. So,
Well, Europe is being overrun by Muslims right now too. So how long will that alliance last? We already have.
well, yeah, I mean, like, it
you
just
know.
seems like there's a complete dissolution and decimation, a concerted effort to undermine and destroy Western culture by any means necessary. And
Mhm.
some of the things that I heard coming out of Ned Lamont's and that idiot Josh Elliott's
Yeah.
mouth, they were talking about I think Elliott, I just saw a clip, and Josh Elliott was saying something to the effect that, well, the reason why they didn't like flock cameras is because they were surveilling, protesters and all this sort of thing. Not once did he mention the Constitution. Not once did he mention the what is it, the Fourth Amendment,
Mhm.
and not once did he mention American citizens. Not once.
Mhm.
I believe Ned Lamont didn't either. So, which begs the question: who the hell are these? What side are these people on? Because it seems like the citizens of Connecticut, who are American citizens, are being basically given the back seat to everything else that they consider their agenda. Earlier this year, when I was up in Hartford, and you can, I guess, watch the video, A.G. Tong went out there with a press conference with regards to the whole ICE thing and everything. And he was talking about Connecticut as if it were a sovereign country,
Mhm,
separate from the United States.
mhm.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. It's in a superficial way, but completely and
Um,
entirely.
Twisted.
he's thinking Confederacy.
Whatever. But
People want me to.
I look.
You did say sovereign.
Well,
also refusing to debate.
he didn't. No, he didn't use the word. He didn't use that word, sovereign. Well,
No.
actually, no. I think he did actually. The sovereign citizens, or the sovereign state of Connecticut, or whatever.
Sovereign state of
Yeah,
Connecticut.
I think that's actually the phrase that he used.
Okay.
And I'm like, who is this guy?
It's a
It's like,
Confederacy.
what country am I living in? It's just like, why do the? Well, I guess I know why, but
Deep breath.
my other question is, why isn't Ryan? Where's Ryan Fazio talking about this?
Good point.
Where's
Very
John
good.
Bolton, who basically wants to occupy that seat?
Well, so wait,
Why
let me
isn't he
stop you right
talking
there.
about
Let me
any
stop
of
you
that
right
stuff?
there. We are trying right now, as we speak, we are trying to organize a debate with Tong and Bolton, just like we did with Aaron Stewart and with Fazio and
Who?
with Betsy.
You didn't talk to me about that.
Michelle May from Hebron just contacted me yesterday about this and wants us to try to do the same thing and force Tong into a debate with Bolton. Bolton is dying to debate with Tong. He won't do it.
Yeah. Aaron is a little lonely back there.
He needs to be exposed for that. Now, the difference, here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
There's one thing that went in our favor when we did the debate in May. We had 3. So when we
Right.
lost 1, we still had 2.
Okay.
But here, we lose Tong. He won't go. There's no debate.
Well, not so fast. You can have what we call a
Mock
surrogate.
debate?
No, you could
Surrogate,
have a
okay.
surrogate who could stand up in place of Tong. I mean, you still have the cutout of him.
Yeah.
But you can have, this is what they do in law school all the time. You take a position, you argue that position. Okay. You could have somebody who can pretend to be Tong. He can talk about Connecticut as a sovereign state and have
I don't
that.
know. I don't know like who the campaign managers are of, but like every single second that stuff comes out, they should. I mean,
Show me.
you know, I feel like I'm watching like episodes of Seinfeld when I or whatever, like some kind of sitcom when I'm, you know, look, Ryan Fazio is a nice guy, but I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. His campaign is leaving much to be desired. I mean, it's just like, where is the piss and vinegar? You know,
Yeah.
it's just like virtually non-existent.
It's all image. He's all just trying to put up an image. Clark Kent thing.
Oh my God.
You know what,
it's a disaster. Okay.
I'm gonna say he's Proto's second choice besides Aaron. So
okay, it's a disaster. All right.
I have a completely different take on this, Eric.
Let's hear it.
Okay, the different take is this. Democrats figured this out a long time ago. All right. And that is that when it comes to the candidates, be nice. Be nice. Republicans
well, this was
this.
yes.
All right.
And actually
complete the point. Let me complete the point. And that is they have some help. That's the media. The job of the media is to be negative, critical, attack, ridicule, mock, etc. That's their job. So when the liberal media does that for the candidate gets to stand there and say, not me. I didn't say that, but the damage has already been done. The seeds have already been planted. Okay. So Fazio needs media backup that attacks the Democrats, and we ain't got it.
No, of course not. That's because Ryan Fazio is Democrat light, basically, and he is. Let's just be let's just be completely honest about it. I mean, if you look at his policies, if you look at his voting record, you know, I don't understand. Like for example, Patrick Sasser. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, he was actually, I think he was at one point Ryan Fazio's campaign manager, but who knows? And I used to see posts about with Patrick Sasser, you know, like reposting Ryan Fazio stuff. I don't see that anymore. Now, I don't know if that's because he's blocked me or you know, whatever, but and maybe he's just a busy guy, who knows? But you know, man, I mean, it's just like,
all right, Eric.
It's just like let me finish my thought, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
upside down.
You know, it's just this is where I'm at with all this. I mean, I genuinely think that the whole thing is so done. I mean, it's like we're so done. We are not going to vote. I am of the opinion that I just do not believe we are going to vote our way out of this mess.
No, it's going to be a civil war is what it's going to be. And
well, maybe there needs to be.
There has to be. It's inevitable. And here's the thing. Just like in the presidential elections before Trump, by the time it got down to the last two guys, the establishment, the elite were totally satisfied with either one of them. And we have the same thing here this year in our governor's race in Connecticut.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned,
it's like
Fazio, Elliott, Lamont, it doesn't matter. The people that we're fighting, the elitists that we're fighting, are cool with any one of the three. We don't have our reform.
That's my.
All I do for you guys is roll over and die.
No, I'm not rolling over and dying. We're going to keep fighting. But the bottom line is that
I have some ideas.
What are you going to do? Okay, so what's your solution? Like you just like
not what you're talking about, Eric. That's for damn sure.
What no civil war?
No. The way it's
going to be a civil war.
You know, you're exactly like you're taking the position exactly like this guy did on Spaces about 2 weeks ago. Like the law. Okay, who enforces the law? The people are. And where does the government derive its authority? From the consent of the government. Governed. When the citizen, oh my God, when the citizenry, when the citizenry no longer consents, then the government becomes powerless. Okay. I do not consent. I do not consent to your authority. I do not recognize or consent to any of these laundry list of this litany of litigation
And corruption.
and laws that you've
I'm with
passed.
you, Eric. I'm
You
not
know,
with
it's just like,
do not consent is a passive response. You need something active.
okay,
alter
do
and abolish.
not consenting, i.e., not paying your taxes. That's one method.
How about alter and abolish?
You're starting to see it now with the flock camera thing incident. People are fed up, and you get these news like these media groups talking about, oh, another one was vandalized, or another group of thing were vandalized today, and everybody in the comment section is like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, you know. It's
Fine.
like doing the Lord's work.
Okay, right now, this all got started when you brought up Fazio. And since you mentioned the name Fazio, Eric, all you've been is a box of fireworks.
Fazio, we're going to have as a guest on our podcast with Selena.
What do you mean?
Okay, you're shooting off in all these different directions about what's wrong with this, what's wrong with this is screwed up, that thing going, nyet, 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 nyet. May I just stop you for a minute, please? Okay? And suggest that an active response is needed. Okay, I kind of dropped a hint when I talked about the role of the media, and I believe, aren't we part of the media here? I think, maybe.
Sure are. We're going to be the best part of the media.
Okay, so a careful, well thought out, aggressive attack plan is needed on behalf of Mr. Fazio, no matter how much you're dissatisfied with him, because you'll take him over Lamont any day of the week, right?
Yeah, barely.
Okay, so you got to figure out who you're fighting for. I'm not hearing it here.
I guess what the point where Eric and I are both trying to make is that regardless if Fazio becomes elected governor, which he very well may, most people are predicting he's going to lose.
Oh.
Because of what I just said, because the establishment is completely satisfied with him as governor, they may let him in, so we can all think that we have this great guy on our side as our governor, and it's bull.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
All right.
Well, the other thing
again,
too, I
maintain
think
you're
that
not
was
thinking this
discussed
through.
before is
Voting
that
record tells it
the
all.
reason why Betsy was handed her hat at the delegation was, for a variety of different reasons, not least of which the undermining of the delegates that were already settled for Betsy to get enter into a primary, and apparently that was all undermined. So my point to you about like leadership, if Ryan Fazio was genuinely concerned about being a leader, he would have basically said, yeah, no, we're not doing it that way. She gets her delegates. We're going to have a fair fight. We're going to have a primary. And that's the way we're going to go about it. I mean, instead of, it's my turn, and I want to win, and I deserve to be governor because I've been here for so long. That's not how the Democratic.
Is that what he said? I think you put
that was more or less the attitude that came across. Okay, by him and the Joe Kellys and the Fred Camillos and the rest of them, that band of merry men. I mean, they're just spineless. They're the same guy. Like Joe Kelly was on the board of education, and you sit there and he'd sit there with 1,000-yard stare while parents would come up and voice their grievances to the board, and you got Cody Kittle there finger fucking his phone over there on the other side of the panel. Well, these, people are trying to say, look, what are you doing to our kids? It's just like they're completely this dark cloud of apathy and just disinterest. It's like, and it's like you talk common sense to these people and they look at you like, huh?
Well, some yes, some no. Okay. I mean, a lot of them yes, some no. So, I mean, John Samperi wouldn't be like that. Ken Vangelis or his wife wouldn't be like that. Dave isn't like that. Okay. And they were all at the convention.
Well, it's enough to screw up the process, though.
Yes. Okay. All this is true. And, I'll be the first to take responsibility. I try my best to understand how rhinos think. I think I've made a little bit of headway, but I'm not there. There is some
And
other.
what's there to understand? I mean, it's about it's really not very hard to understand.
Oh,
It's
really?
all of it. No, it isn't. I mean, it's not this kind of like nebulous, far off, distant thing. Like, how does that happen? It's pretty simple. It's basic
What's your
human
knowledge?
instincts. Maintain power at any and or all costs,
Mhm,
and go along to get along. Go along with the establishment. Don't
mhm.
stand out from the crowd. Group think, all that kind of stuff. Going
Yeah.
back to what Jason brought up
All right.
earlier,
Well, all right.
Animal
So
Farm,
I'm
and
I'm good with that. Now the thing though is that produces a pathology that seeps into all these other things you're just talking about. Okay, when you're saying, well, they don't understand this, they don't listen to that, they don't grasp this, and that would be because of their rhino values that you just described. Okay, but we need to, I think, a tighter connection needs to be drawn between the state of mind that you've described and the horrible results that it produces.
well, I would probably maybe even more oversimplify it even more. Um, it,
Oversimplified.
Human
yeah,
nature
well,
produces bad results.
because they're
That's the
well,
problem.
I mean, Yuri Bezmenov, if you're familiar, the
Yeah, I
former
remember.
KGB,
You know,
the
Yuri.
former
You know, Yuri.
KGB agent,
We
and he
do.
talked extensively about ideological subversion, which is
Mhm.
infiltrated into the education system and a variety of other things. And
Media.
Nation is the
well,
key.
right. So there's this
That's where they'll
sim,
answerize.
sim there's this symbiosis of group think, and the group does not like people such as individuals standing out and calling things to attention, or demanding accountability. The group doesn't like that, and so what has happened is over the last at least 2 decades anyway, there's been this pervasive type of groupthink, whether it's with the LGBTQ thing, or whether it's the the sort of apathy towards the illegals pouring into the country, to the gaslighting that being an American citizen and calling things into account or demanding accountability is an act of terrorism. I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah,
basically
I've seen that.
where we're at right now.
Right. I've seen this. I understand what you're saying.
You
The
know,
and yeah. So, but to me, this is just the same cheap crap. What was it? Somebody was explaining this similar to this point today. What was it? Damn, I can't remember right now. But I will contact you when I remember what it was exactly. It's a related point, though, absolutely, to what you're saying. So, all of this said, I still feel like we're sitting here bitching, whining, and moaning when we should be plotting, planning, and deploying.
well, you don't plot and plan openly in public and discuss your plans with an enemy who is
I just described something they do. We got to take a page from their book. Okay.
We do spend a
Media,
lot of time defining the problem. We should
there
spend more
needs to
time.
be a conservative attack dog media to help
well,
Ryan Fazio out.
okay, well, yeah, I don't know.
Educating
I
the
I'm not
public.
giving anything away there.
I don't know.
You
I'm
guys,
just
the
I'm
answer
just
lies in education. Educating
What?
the public.
yeah.
Making
I
them
think
understand where we're
Ryan
going.
Fazio is kind of cut from the same
Where
cloth as
scarcity comes
Josh.
in.
As
You had to do that again. Okay, we got it. Very
Ryan
split
Fazio is
emotion. Yes.
Ryan Fazio is cut from the same cloth as Josh Elliott. They're both millennials, and they actually it's kind of frightening because
No,
their thinking is not dissimilar.
I would disagree.
Well, I wouldn't,
What makes you
because
think they're similar? What makes you think a guy who's communist adjacent is like Ryan Fazio?
it's like the mannerisms, the delivery, this sort of when you think of maybe I'm not being specific enough. When I'm talking about characters like Josh Elliott and Ryan Fazio, the similarities that I see between them are this almost like
Aloofness.
What was the word?
It's kind of it's almost like an effeminate. There's kind of like this like effeminate overtone with their
Shot
type.
Elliott?
Their
Really?
yeah.
Well, I see what you're saying a little bit.
It's not what you would call like
Classic.
not what we would call like a classic assertive leader. Like someone who would assume the role like an masculine role, like a General Georges Patton or a
Okay.
that type of thing.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
soft shoe.
yeah.
It's very and
Josh Elliott
Lamont
is soft shoe?
Lamont is kind of like the older version of that.
There's no alpha male. No alpha
Yeah.
male.
Oh,
It's just like
all right. That
like,
I'll
do you
agree.
want which beta male do you want running the state?
Jeez.
You know,
Okay.
sorry.
All right. Well, that should not be part of our media strategy. Okay. Just saying.
Well, the part of the media strategy is lighting a fire under the look.
Tell the truth.
In my opinion, Reese on the radio is doing great work. I think he's had guests on where he's interviewing and he's basically, holding some of these politicians' feet to the fire. But part of the problem is it's like, we shouldn't be infighting. You should support their candidate because he's a Republican and stuff. If there was a Republican that actually was worth supporting in terms of genuine representation,
like John DeBarros.
There you go. I like that guy. I mean, he's not
fight the fight, man.
He's not like what you would call like overly articulate and stuff, but he gets his message across. I like the way he communicates. It's sincere. There's a sincerity and he's got the fire in the belly.
Yes, he does.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's that kind of with Ryan Fazio and Lamont and the rest of them, there's this dispassionate, like or faux, kind of like this faux passion about certain things. And the only thing that like Ned Lamont is passionate about is when he's yakking about Donald Trump. I mean, that seems to be the only thing that Democrats can get passionate about is how much they absolutely hate Donald Trump. I mean, look, I don't like what I don't agree with, and I don't like a lot of the things that Donald Trump has been doing, but it's kind of like, and part of the thing is he's not going to be president indefinitely. So, so where do we go from here? Now, I heard a little birdie told me today that Chris Murphy is actually going to considering a run for the presidency.
Really?
Yes.
That'd be a nightmare. He's a dangerous guy.
No, the notion that someone like that is going to get traction nationally, delusional.
Yeah. Well, with fair elections, yeah. We don't have fair elections, though.
Let me give you an example. You might remember. What was that name of that guy who was the governor? Cuomo. What was his name?
Yeah, Cuomo, yeah. Mario Cuomo?
Well, there's Mario.
Chris Cuomo.
There's Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo, Mario Cuomo.
Mario's the older guy. Chris the younger guy.
Are you talking about the former or the former governor? What's his name?
Something Cuomo.
Mario Cuomo was the former. Chris
No. That was the father. There's the father and the two brothers. Chris is one of the two brothers. Yeah. The other brother was governor, and I can't remember his name.
First name, yes. So anyway, the point I want to make is about Mario. Mario was a highly respected liberal, okay, even though we didn't like him.
Andrew.
Right.
Cuomo, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Andrew's papa, Mario, had considered running for president. Here he had won the governorship, 3 times in the state of New York?
Right.
And now he's casting his eyes to the nation. So what does he have to do? Test the waters. Will he get support? Will he be well received? And would you like to know what killed his campaign for president? a trip to New Orleans. Okay. There was a conference in New Orleans, and the receipt of these people outside of New York was so icy, so hostile, that he knew he didn't have a chance, and that ended it for him. Okay? So if a Mario Cuomo can't build national support, do not think for 1 second that a Chris Murphy has a ghost of a chance. All right?
Scum.
No.
AOC's leading the pack right now over the Democratic
These
side.
people are so full of themselves. Go ahead. Waste their money and time, but we know how far you're going to get, and it ain't going to be far. All right?
Apparently, Kamala Harris's support, she was running about 13 or 14% for the New Hampshire primary. She's down to 5% now.
Yeah, no. I
AOC
mean,
is taking the lead.
yeah, you know?
She's dangerous because she's a good-looking girl. She's going to attract a lot of superficial voters.
Who?
Don't ever
Are
underestimate.
you talking about Kamala Harris?
No, AOC.
Oh, no.
Don't ever underestimate the superficial voter.
Well, right. It's the same people who voted for Obama because he was black.
Yeah, because he was black.
Not because they believed in or agreed with his policies. They probably could care less about that. But the number one reason many people voted for Barack Obama was because he was, well, half black anyway. So
yeah. Anyway, can we just shift to the key point for this evening's discussion here? Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Yes. Okay. Once again, I'm only doing this, Eric, because a lot of shit is happening in Iran, and I do mean a lot of shit. Okay.
Right.
We have two sets of attacks currently going on. All right. One set. So there are the simultaneous bombings are the product of a long period of collecting intelligence. For example, one of the tricks is to create a decoy cave. All right. Satellite photo shows an entrance, and you want to tag that as a possible target. It's called not so fast. Is that being used at all? So we had a number of what are called MQ-6 Reaper drones that can do loitering, long-term, 24-hour loitering over an area. And they would collect information, and they were able to tell which ones were active and which ones were the decoys. Okay, so Iranians screwed up there a little bit.
Good.
And, okay, so the point is that if we were to attack these sites sequentially, that gives the Iranians an opportunity to move the stuff. So instead, we have to bomb simultaneously so they don't get a chance to move around.
Mm-hmm.
So that has happened. There are more other things going on, but that's one set. That's A. They're on the list. B, there's been a number of attacks. There are near, if you look at the map, so Bandar Abbas, okay, key naval port. And then there's this huge island where there are a lot of Iranian facilities. And then there's also a small island near it. So those have been getting bombed like hell. But now the question in my mind, I've bombed them before. So, since time has passed and they've set up new equipment there.
Was Targ Island one of these islands we're talking about?
No, I forget the name of it, but if you were to look at the map and see the Strait of Hormuz, you can't miss it. There's the big island right there near Bandar Abbas, and then there's a smaller island, a couple of smaller islands. All right, so there's that. Meantime, in the news, Trump has threatened other attacks. So this is the part where I need to pause. I get to the next one there. So we've had these simultaneous attacks, and he's still talking about stuff that's going to be even bigger than what we've done before. It's called "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, Baby." So we'll see. All right. Meantime, did I talk about the tactical nukes yet?
No.
Okay. All right. So yes, is Trump talking about tactical nukes for Pickaxe Mountain? There was a video.
Bunker busters can't do it.
Yeah, because it's a granite mountain. It's big, it's deep. So, the point has been made that the Iranian military doctrine from the get-go was they knew that any military conflict, they would lose up front. So they instead developed a doctrine based upon defense. That meant big holes in the mountains, go really deep, make them heavily defended. All right. In other words, do everything you can to make it as costly as possible for Americans to actually be able to destroy these facilities.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that has been their thinking. And our reaction has been, okay, we just have to use bigger bombs. Got it. Meantime, though, Pickaxe Mountain seems to present a special challenge because the Iranians have been developing this site for a very long time, and there's a recognition that your typical mother of all bombs, such as the used in Afghanistan, would not be enough to do the job. Okay. Now, let me pause here for a second because I want to talk. Sorry?
We should be. I think we've talked a lot about taking out their bridges and their some of their electrical grid.
That's
That
going
should be
on.
happening.
That's ongoing. That is ongoing. And by the way, I just want to mention there was a video put up by somebody in Iran encouraging President Trump to keep bombing these things. Is it just seems to be some ordinary Iranian citizen? And he's just making the point that the Iranian government has killed tens of thousands and tens of thousands and tens of thousands of people over the last several years. So quite frankly, to us, to lose 1,000 people in our country for this, we can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his message.
Okay, so nobody is okay. So we're in this conflict with Iran. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Right? Yeah. What I want to know is what is the end game? What's the goal?
The end.
What's the exit strategy?
In my mind, it's the end of the IRGC. That's the only way to win war.
So to your point, Eric, let's see, what is it? Where is it? Third from the bottom. Third from the bottom here will address your concern. All right, so just bear with me. The problem, though, now in this video from Tausi TV was that there is this. Well, they're not nailing it down, but there seems to be strong hints of a discussion about using a tactical nuclear weapon to destroy Pickaxe Mountain. It's okay to be horrified.
I'm not against it.
You're horror, so you're not horrified.
I'm not horrified.
So you don't think there are any international implications here in using a nuclear weapon, which has never been done before? You don't
Well, it's
think
been done before.
There won't be a
Well,
blowback.
it's been done many times. It's been done at least
it's been done before.
twice by us.
Yeah, it's a military target. It's a military target, and it's a tactical nuclear weapon, which is not a full 20 megaton explosion. We meant to cave in this Pickaxe Island and end their whatever nuclear ambitions they have there, and I'm not against that.
Okay, well, the bad optics. Okay, I mean, you can say militarily it makes a lot of sense, but it's going to be bad optics.
I agree.
That would be,
which is why it should be a last resort. I don't think it's something that we should just go and do.
Okay,
but if it's the only way we can fix it, that's why I'm okay with it.
What is the point? What is the goal? What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Clearly, most of the American people don't really don't support this at all.
Well, they don't get it.
What we're doing it. Well, okay, so explain it. It's like why all the hand wringing and the gesticulating? Like, get a whiteboard out and explain it to like the rest of us, like we're a bunch of fucking golden retrievers or fourth graders. You know, people aren't stupid.
All right, well, sit in your desk. Eric and I will explain. Iran is an international pariah.
Just that's not speaking to me like I'm a fourth grader. Just simplify it, please.
They're screwing up the rest of the world.
How?
How many countries have they attacked with drones and missiles so far?
How many people they killed?
The answer is 10. 10. Okay.
They're a rogue nation. They need to go. They need to be. Listen, look, Trump's
the fourth grader might understand rogue nation either.
Trump keeps going on TV and saying Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. But he can't say we want to end the IRGC.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Was it last year or was it earlier this year? That I thought we went in there and eliminated their ability to produce a nuclear weapon. But apparently we didn't. So There's a ceasefire, and we're back at war again. Then there's a ceasefire, and we're back at war again.
Look,
Then there's a ceasefire, and we're
guys,
back at war
they're
again.
not saying it publicly, but they want to end the IRGC. That's the objective of the war. They can't say it publicly.
Okay,
that's regime
look,
change. We don't wanna talk
it's
about
pointless, all right? Because how many times have we been told that we're going to put an end to the Muslim Brotherhood, or we're going to put an end, created by the CIA, I believe, and then we're going to put an end to this group. We're going to put an end to that group. And it just goes on and on. We're supposed to win the war in Afghan. Russia spent 20 years in Afghanistan. We spent 10. And, nothing, right? And what do? We left about almost nearly $100 billion of military hardware over there for all of these other enemy nations to go there to acquire, reverse engineer, and all the rest of it. I mean,
so I'm trying to interpret your remarks. Are you saying give up, Eric? I'm not quite following where you're going.
No, I'm just saying that I've not heard any clear, I've heard you say the Iran is attacked here and Iran has attacked this country, or Iran has attacked that country. But I've never actually,
including their allies. That's messed up.
When?
Sometime between March and today at various times. This
okay. Who drew first blood? We did.
We did not draw first blood.
They
took over our embassy in Iran. They took 150 of us hostage. They declared war against the United States. That is bull, Eric.
No.
We did not start this war. We are not the perverters here. They're the ones chanting death to America. They're the ones trying to take us down, not us. They took our embassy. They took our hostages. They're blowing up our soldiers on the. You ever heard of the USS Cole? You ever heard of 9/11? They're the ones waging war against us. If they left us alone, we would leave them alone.
Well, no, it's worse than that, though. I come back to my original point. You don't like the word, but it fits. They are a pariah nation. Okay, attacking 10 countries just since March. Okay, they have the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Iraqis. Okay, Hezbollah operates in South America as well, running these drug operations. Okay, all of this at the behest of the Iranian government. All right, that alone should piss people off. But
hey, Eric, do we go around the street? How many people run around in America chanting "Death to Iran! Death to Iran! End Iran! Kill all the Muslims"? No, we don't do that. They do that. They're the ones saying "End America." They're the ones saying kill America or whatever. They're the ones waging the war. Trump's just finishing it.
You're focused on ideology. You're not focused on the economics. It's the economics which is the primary.
Not for them. It's not for the RGC. It's not about economics.
Yeah,
I don't care about the money.
It is about economics.
No, not with them. Not with them. It's not.
Because if you can control he who controls has the gold makes the rules. Okay, oil is gold. At least in the world stage, it is.
You think the mullahs care about? No, the mullahs have made it very clear that they do not care about economics.
They don't care about
economics. The memorandum of understanding was one big fat carrot. I mean, the problem, of course, they had to give up nuclear energy, but the opportunity for them to have incredible economic development was there for the taking. And they said, "Screw you, we don't want it." So, no, it's not about money. Okay.
It's about their Allah and their jihad.
Okay.
I don't agree with you.
Okay, so you don't agree.
I believe that they're using that as a scapegoat with which to go to war.
No,
is the ideology in contradistinction to Western values? Absolutely, of course.
You're really underestimating the power of their religious beliefs.
No, I'm not.
So that's what this.
I'm saying that they use.
Why didn't they take the economic opportunities we gave them then?
They use religion to advance their other agenda, which is domination.
No, domination on the basis of religion, though, not on the basis of money.
No, it is not on the. Yes, it is on the basis of money and control. It's always been that way.
Money is
the Native American Indians fought over resources.
Eric,
they didn't fight it.
Money may be the tool for them.
Disagree with you, dude. Disagree with you, dude. Disagree. I disagree.
So Eric, you think the IRGC isn't religious at all? They're just doing it for the money. That's ridiculous. It's about their religion. It's about their ideology. They believe death to America based on what Allah tells them. And money is the tool that they need to help them do it. That's not what motivates them. They're not a bunch of greedy gluttons over there. They're a bunch of religious fanatics.
Right.
Man.
Okay. Right. That's right. That's because like Standard Oil Company, what was it in the turn of the 20th century, went over there and actually clued the Arabs in. Where did court go?
I don't know. That's interesting. That's the first time that's ever happened.
We're still alive?
I think we are.
Oh.
Well, how are we alive without court? That's weird because he's the one running the thing.
Yeah.
Very strange that he disappeared. He didn't get mad, did he? No.
No, I
No.
don't. No.
Right.
So, like at the beginning of the conflict, it says here, February 26, 20 or February 28, 2026, U.S. and Israeli forces launched coordinated attacks against targets inside Iran. Later that day, Iran responded with missile and drone attacks. So, up until that point, to my knowledge, says the genesis of the present conflict was not one isolated Iranian or American attack. It was a chain of escalation involving three overlapping disputes. The Iranian nuclear.
What happened? Hold on just a minute. Eric called me. Hold on. Hey, what happened?
The screen suddenly froze. There was a loud buzzing noise. And
can you get back in?
Can you get back in or no?
Well, I'm
working on it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. That's the short answer.
Okay. If you can't get back in, I guess we'd have to start over from scratch or whatever.
I don't know if we're even live right now. If we're on stream, we're probably not on StreamYard right now.
No, we are. We're in StreamYard right now.
Oh, we're still in StreamYard right now, according to Eric.
Yeah, and according to my screen, we're still live.
We're still live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you two guys keep fighting until I get back.
All right.
Okay.
I got a few more minutes anyway.
Okay.
All right.
So it says here, it says, although technically predicated or preceding this decade, the pivotal break occurred in May 2018 when President Trump withdrew the United States from the 2015 nuclear agreement, the JCPOA, and restored severe economic sanctions under the maximum pressure campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going back 11 years. So then Iran subsequently began exceeding the agreement's nuclear restrictions while insisting that its program was peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Diplomatic efforts during the 2021 to 2022 failed. Welcome back. So, and then subsequently, so you have U.S. sanctions, then you have the Iran nuclear expansion. This is going back 10 years. Then you have additional sanctions and sabotage, further Iranian escalation. And then January 2020, the United States killed Qasem Soleimani. All right. So you remember that, which was back, people would forget about that because we were engrossed in COVID at the time.
So do you have the 2,000 Americans killed by Iran?
Well, hold on. I'm getting there. So number two, so on January 3rd, 2020, the United States killed Iranian Quds Force Commander Qasem Soleimani in a drone strike near Baghdad. Iran retaliated 5 days later by directly firing ballistic missiles at Iraqi bases housing American forces. Reuters described the exchange as bringing the countries to close a full-scale war. A United Nations special rapporteur later concluded that the Soleimani strike violated international law, although that was the expert's legal assessment rather than a binding court judgment. So then October. Okay, so now let's go to October 2023. It transformed into a regional war. So you have Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. So I think this is kind of the problem. So if I understand correctly, Trump got us out of the whatever agreement that was, and basically said, we're not doing this anymore. And then that's when Iran started escalating its nuclear developments. Okay, if I understand this,
that sounds right. Yes.
Okay, if I'm tracking with these events correctly here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
then I guess the October 7th attack was purportedly, in response to all of these things going on. Now, here's where things get cloudy with respect to the whole ideological thing. To Jason's point, yes. And I think, do you remember Bridget Gabrielle? Because she talked about this, I think.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, she's a conservative, I think, talk show host, or she's had her own program. But she's from, I think she's from Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. But she's from the Middle East. She's from the Middle East, and she converted or was brought up Christian, Catholic, whatever.
Is she hot?
She's a good looking. I mean, she's like probably in her late 60s, maybe early 70s by now. But she was an attractive woman. So, she was talking about. Well, she and a few other apologists, I guess, they had been talking about a new Ottoman, like reestablishing the Ottoman Empire, if you will, like all of the Middle Eastern countries getting together and recreating. I think it's a caliphate, I think they call it. So,
where are the headquarters for this?
And I think Newt Gingrich talked about this as well.
Constantinople.
If I'm not mistaken.
As long as they're friendly.
But ideology is often used to advance, or to mask, shall I say, a political agenda, which is control. Okay, I mean, it's ultimately control, and you use ideology to do that. It's like a religion. It could be a religion. In this case, it's Islam and the Muslims and that sort of thing. And so you have people on the lower tier who are very much indoctrinated and invested into the ideology, which is completely antithetical to Western culture. In addition to the LGBT stuff, that's completely antithetical to Western culture as well.
Warfare.
Right. Zionism is antithetical, in my humble opinion, to the Western ethos, particularly the American ethos, if you will. So there's a whole host of these things like swirling around and going around, but back of it all is control and power. So if I'm so let's go to, we did 2023. You had Iraqi and Syrian militias attacked American bases, which Court was kind of getting at. Hezbollah attacked Israel from Lebanon. Yemen's Houthis attacked Red Sea shipping and launched weapons toward Israel. So this is 2023 we're at. And then Iran-backed groups attacked U.S. coalition forces in Iraq, Syria, more than 150 times during the initial months of the Gaza war. And then in January 2024, so we're now 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, an Iran-backed militia drone killed 3 American soldiers at Tower 22 in Jordan. Iran denied directing that particular attack. Then the United States responded by striking militia and IRGC-linked facilities, but generally avoided striking Iranian territory directly at that stage. Now let's go to 2024. Israel and Iran began attacking each other directly. The decisive transition from shadow war to direct state-on-state warfare occurred in April 2024. Israel struck an Iranian diplomatic compound annex in Damascus, killing senior Iranian officers. Iran launched more than 300 missiles and drones directly at Israel. Okay, so let's go to 2025. On June 13th, 2025, U.S.-Iran nuclear negotiations were still underway. Israel launched extensive attacks against Iranian nuclear facilities, missile installations. Iran retaliated against Israel and missile drones. The United States initially assisted Israel defensively and then entered a war directly on June 21st and 22nd, striking Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, Iran. Isfahan, yeah. Okay, so now we're okay. So therefore, the June 2025 war is Israel attacked Iran first, and the United States later joined the Israeli offensive. And then fast forward to February this year. Then there was a 2025 ceasefire. I remember that one. Continued and flailed principally over whether Iran would be permitted to retain any domestic uranium enrichment. February 28, 2026, United States and Israel launched large-scale attacks across Iran. So the bottom line is 2018 withdrawal from the nuclear agreement, maximum pressure sanctions, Iranian nuclear expansion, Soleimani's killing in 2020, regional proxy warfare after October 2023, direct Israel-Iran attacks in 2024, Israel's June 2025 attack and subsequent U.S. intervention, failed negotiations, joint U.S.-Israeli attack 28. And so
Sounds like we're finally taking it to a regime that's had it coming for a long time.
Well, you know,
they started their war against us in 1979. And they've been fighting with us ever since. They're just not very strong.
Are you talking about the hostage with the
hostages, the USS Cole? It goes on and on.
Yeah,
the timeline, your timeline that begins in 2018 goes back to 1979. There are plenty of attacks.
Well, it goes back probably even sooner than that. But you know, I've long had I've started to develop a thesis because I found it interesting that up until I think it was in the late 19th century, the United States was largely for almost 100 years not engaged with any overseas or international conflicts, maybe save the Barbary Wars with the Barbary pirates. I think that was just after the revolution.
So the Mexican-American War.
It was a different world back then, and isolationism probably made sense in that era. But we live in an era now where we have
right, but here's the problem is you know, why is the United States constantly getting into these international conflicts?
And I think we're a target.
I would agree with you. Yes.
Yes. No, wait a second. You have India and China in constant conflict. You have India and Pakistan in constant conflict, and we don't have anything to do with that. You have these guerrilla wars in Thailand. Okay. What do we have to do with that? You have all kinds of bloody conflicts in Africa. And for the most part, we don't have anything to do with those. So what are you talking about?
Well, I understand, but the thing of it is because the United States cannot remain prosperous if unless several things. Ross Perot was right when we delegated all of our through all of our manufacturing out of the country and delegate it to other countries, which was the giant sucking sound that Ross Perot talked about.
He was complaining about Mexico.
Well, right, but it's gone beyond that. I mean, Mexico, yes, but it's gotten beyond that because his whole point was that as soon as manufacturing and the industrial component of our country leaves and gets shipped out, whether it's Mexico or wherever else, the economy is going to
suffer.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's been happening, to a large extent, and that's why we're in this sort of proxy situation with China. with the tariffs and all this, and the rest of it. If we'd have been smart, this is about, it's short-term gain, long-term consequences. And that's kind of how, the business world works. It's like making the most amount of money.
I think it's worth pointing out that it's President Trump who's been a strong advocate for tariffs. Okay. Before that, you had the globalist free trade model, which called for low tariffs. And that was partially true because he showed that a lot of the countries that America was trading with had higher tariffs against American goods than we had against them to come into America. And his point was that had to end.
Yeah.
Now we get into these other conflicts with Canada, with China, with the EU. And as a result, he jacked up the tariffs, right? And because he felt there was more to be gained by doing that than having the old policy.
All right, gentlemen, with that, I'm going to check out. I got work to do. It's getting late. I'll let you guys finish off.
All right, Jason.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
I'll be back at 9 o'clock.
All right, buddy.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Well, anyway.
Are we going to get Dr. Ricky in here at all?
I don't. He's driving from Durham. So he did a show in Durham. And so it's a journey from Durham to North Haven for home. And I don't think he's going to have time to.
Well, that was at 9:22. That was an hour ago.
When he said that.
Yeah.
Okay. Up there. Let's see. Well, theoretically he would be listening. Dealing with a bunch of negative, what is it? Nattering nabobs of negativism. You know where that came from?
Yeah,
Nattering.
That wasn't Horace Greeley, was it? No, Horace Greeley was Go West, I think.
Yeah. Suddenly I'm blanking on his name. Let's see. I'm gonna kick myself here. Yes, Spiro Agnew. Do you remember Spiro Agnew?
Spiro Agnew, yes, of course.
Yes, the nattering nabobs of negativism. It's just too bad he was a corrupt motherfucker. That's a whole other story. That's why he had to resign. He got caught. Yeah. Tricky Dick knew how to choose him, didn't he? Anyway, so Jason boogied out of here, but he told me now that you're going to be working on some stuff for CSNE.
Yes, we're trying to put something together. So
this will be very cool.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. I need Ricky to get in here.
I don't think.
Can you call him?
Yeah. Let's see if I can get him here. Just a sec. See if I've got his number up, ready to go here. That would be nice. Come on, where are you? You're hiding here somewhere. I know you are. I know it's on here. But yeah, no, he has to break all that equipment down, and he's got his friend Nugget with him.
Okay.
Father has to take Nugget home, and here he is, all that other stuff. So let's see if we get lucky. All right, I'm holding on.
We just got done cleaning up from the festival that we just did.
All right, so you just finished cleaning up.
Hold on, they're handing me headphones and stuff so I can talk to you.
Okay.
I agreed a lot with everything that Eric said. I was listening.
Okay. Yes, I noticed.
Winding cables and packing.
Yeah. Well.
Eric, can you hear me through recording?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, we'll just do it this way then. And I was going to try to log in, but every time I try to log in, I sound like I'm being a space invader.
Oh, wow.
Space invader.
So it's a lot easier just kind of go this route right now. We did another, I call it the Concert Green series.
Okay.
We were in Prospect last week, or no, yesterday, and now we were just at the Durham. What was it called? Allen Brook Park or something. Oh, it was wild. Lot of nice people.
Is this where they have the state fair?
No. This is behind some school.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
It's just off like where 68 and 17 meet out in Durham.
Okay, I know where that is.
All right, so this is kind of the if I could like sort of recalibrate, and I think this is
Recalibrate.
right, because I've been trying to, I haven't understood everything in context with respect to the disposal of events as to how the whole Iran conflict, really began to unfold, at least under Trump anyway. So what I did was I did a query, from the perspective of Tucker Carlson, who has been adamantly and vehemently against the conflicts altogether. And so I've been trying to
No.
All the American people. Nobody in America wants this.
Okay. So, but this is the perspective that
they're putting the carrot in front of Trump's nose, like, "Come on, Trump, attack us," and that's Israel doing the taunting of to Trump. They're doing it like, "Come on, Trump, taco."
Yeah, I don't
Right,
think so.
so-
There's no taco going on.
so
here.
Carlson, based on
Trump to be the biggest patsy of ever for
How?
Israel. For Israel, I'm telling you.
How's it going to be? What happens to a person who's a patsy? They're made a fool of. So you're telling me Trump is going to be made a fool of?
I know, but yes, to Ricky's point there, and that is seems to be the consensus, and among many conservatives, is that they feel, and Tucker Carlson has expressed this sentiment quite repeatedly, that it appears that Israel seems to be directing a lot of the decision making with respect to the Middle East, and this has been further exacerbated by the new legislation that just passed through the House.
Well, that's another matter. Yes.
Which is kind of dovetails with everything that's going on over there, where you have this sort of now Israel colluding with, or maybe colluding is not the right word, participating in or being privy to all of our.
They're using the word integrated.
Yeah, integrating our military apparatus with Israel,
that's
just not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Well, it already has. They've already the law's already been passed.
No.
They put it in the big bill. It was in the big bill court. And,
okay. All right.
Thomas Massey actually
don't like politics, but I want to remind you that the American form of government in the legislative branch has two parts: the House and the Senate. All right. This bill has been passed by the House. It is moving to the Senate, where it will be roundly debated, and people are already bitching about that being slipped in there. So it's not a done deal.
All right. So let me just focus on what Tucker Carlson's central argument is that the decisive event was Trump's voluntary decision to involve the United States in a war that Iran had not initiated against America before the February 2026 attack. Carlson argued that Iran had not attacked or directly threatened the United States. Afterward, his network highlighted.
What's his definition of threaten?
Well, you'd have to ask him. Afterward,
what's the definition? I mean,
well, look, I mean, people make threats all the time. We're going to kill you. We're going to kill you.
So yes, kill you. So that doesn't count in Tucker's world.
Well, it's kind of like if your neighbor is standing across the street and wagging his.
And it isn't just that, by the way. Do I have to keep repeating myself? Yes, I have to keep repeating myself. Hezbollah in South America, drugs, trafficking. All paid for by Iran in our backyard.
Hold up. Stop the bus. Where did you get that from? That sounds like propaganda court.
Oh, no, it's not.
Well, no. He actually, Ricky, that is correct. And also the Mexican cartels have been working hand in glove with
Hezbollah, yes.
with Hezbollah and all of that. So yes, there is truth.
Okay, my ears are open. I can hear you, so I can hear
Okay. Okay. So there is merit to that. There is merit to that argument.
And that's somehow not a threat to America.
Well, okay. So let's continue. Well, this kind of begs the question, and Tucker Carlson has made a couple of at least once or twice egregious errors where he has said something and then denied ever having said it, and yet he goes on about how he takes responsibility for anything that he's said, and if he said it, he would own it or whatever. And he's done this on at least 2 occasions, and he's not recanted or made any corrections to some of the things that he stated. I can't remember exactly what the context was, but I'd have to look it up.
Mhm.
But I do remember there were at least 1 or 2 instances where Tucker Carlson was quoted as saying like one thing, and then later when asked about it, like he completely denied it, and the recording and the video was like right there. So I mean, I try to take a lot of I take a lot of what Carlson says with a grain of salt, but I listen to what he has to say because I agree with a lot of his sentiments. But I think if we're building a case, and trying to understand the all of the moving parts, I don't think that Carlson is doing. I think he's doing his audience a disservice by not breaking everything down. Now, if you remember, Judge Napolitano, who is
all the time.
yeah,
I like
Judge.
him.
Yeah, I like him too.
Controlled opposition.
Well, he was thrown off Fox News, I think, but
Yeah,
that's
controlled
because
opposition. Trey Gowdy's on Fox News, and he's controlled opposition.
well, when you say controlled opposition, I don't understand what you have to qualify what you mean.
Would you like my explanation?
I already know.
Sure, but I would probably disagree with it, but go on anyway.
Okay, controlled opposition is somebody who pretends to be on your side.
Alex Jones. That's a perfect example.
Well, he may or may not be the case, but the thing is, there's a list. I'm going to use Ricky as Exhibit A here. Okay.
I'm controlled opposition.
No. That's misunderstood. You have a list, Ricky. Okay. You have a list of all the things that are wrong with this world, all the different conspiracies, all the different dirty tricks, all the different things that people are doing against the interests of the people.
Well, not against the interests of the people. This is more of a God thing for me.
Okay.
I'm just kind of rolling with you guys with this. So
okay.
Keep going.
All right. So here's the thing.
I show you about all the Satanism and the witchcraft and
all
other
right.
things.
Okay. Good points. Now, if you have a person who sits down next to Ricky and says, "Hey, Ricky, I really like what you're saying. I agree with you." And then he talks with you about one thing or another. But then you notice at some point, there's some places where this friend of Ricky's won't go. Let's say Satanism. Let's say it's child trafficking. Okay. He'll agree with all the other stuff, but somehow he manages to avoid going those places. That is controlled opposition.
Okay. Well, I only have one friend. He's sitting right next to me. He's my brother.
Okay. Well, he's not. Okay. I don't think we have a problem there.
Hey, Nugget. How's it going over there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I haven't agreed with everything that Judge Napolitano has said. There's some things about the Constitution I don't agree with him about.
Yeah.
But I guess my point that I was trying to make was that.
Hold on. Because I gotta. It just
go ahead. Go ahead, Ricky.
What Court was saying, and then you continue off the top of me. When he was talking about the controlled opposition, what it is that they give you a little bit of truth, some truth, but then they also have their hidden agenda underneath. And I think that's where Court was trying to go with this.
Yes. Trey Gowdy is the perfect example.
Sure.
He talked smack left and right about whatever it was when he was in Congress, and people were so excited because he
Right.
was putting people on the spot, and then nothing.
It's kind of like the good cop, bad cop thing. In other words, you have, like, if you're getting interrogated, you have the cop that's like, browbeating you and trying to get you into submission. And then you got the good cop that comes in. It's just like, hey, don't worry about him. He's all right. Like, look, I know you're a nice guy. I know you probably had a rough life and everything. And that's the kind of like, the good cop, bad cop routine.
How is that controlled opposition?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because he's telling you he's your friend, but he's not really your friend.
It's
You know?
the Trojan horse.
He's really your enemy, but he's acting like he's your friend.
Okay, but in the
You
but the
didn't
more
confess to something that you didn't do.
all right, but
It's the Trojan horse.
no, but the point here is the point, at least I'm trying to make, is that when you are trying to make your case for a certain conspiracy theory, for example, and somebody's pretending to be on your side, but he's not, but he's going to interfering with your ideas about that
Well,
conspiracy
it's kind of
theory.
like the inverse.
No.
In other words, like Trey Gowdy would go out there and like grill James Comey, and read him the riot act in those congressional hearings and wag his finger and everything.
Yeah.
And basically, like, what he's really doing is like nod, nod, wink, wink. I'm giving you a tongue lashing, but I'm really your friend. I just had to put on this big show for everybody else in the cameras and stuff.
Yes, that would
So
be
That's
another.
basically
That's another
what
point.
Trump was doing when he was running. Fake
What?
media,
What?
calling it all out, and then all of
What?
a sudden, next thing you know,
What?
Yeah, I mean that's look.
What?
I think. Look, I
He's
think Trump
constantly
is.
attacking the liberal media. I don't know what you're talking about.
The media owns his ass. Court. I hate to break the news.
I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ with that. Yeah, I
No,
would
it's
beg
like
to differ
he's
with that.
giving people a tongue lashing in public, but he's probably buddy with them all in the when the cameras aren't running.
Eric
Oh.
said it better than I could right there.
Well, I would.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Anyway, let me-
there was a hot mic moment when they were talking about, the media had all their masks on, and I think this was it was just after a press conference had just ended, and then a couple of the newsies that were the journalists that were in the White House press room there, and you could hear them talking, and I'm like, can we take our masks off now, and yada yada yada.
No. I have the video of that.
Wait, or do you remember? Ricky might remember this one. Do you remember when Ron Paul was at the Maine delegation and John at the conference there, and John Boehner was up there reading from a script, a teleprompter, and the speaker John Boehner or whatever, and they were like saying, in the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and it was scripted. It was like, in the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Yep.
So
I will go find these clips again, just so we have them for the show, to show people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
I think it's important that we show this stuff, because even though we're talking about it, some people are like, yeah, I don't believe it. Yeah, right, whatever.
Anyway, so
There you go.
all right. In the meantime, I just want to, since we're starting to run out of time, I want to focus on the third from the bottom, and that
okay,
is
go ahead, Court.
Prince Pahlavi calls for the final uprising.
Oh.
Prince Pahlavi calls for
Eric,
final
who
uprising.
is this? This name does not ring a bell with me.
All right. So before the Ayatollahs showed up, who was the head of Iran?
Wait.
A gentleman who was the Shah of Iran, and his last name was Pahlavi. Okay. He had a son. Now, I forget the name of the son, but he had a son. So when the Ayatollahs showed up and kicked his ass out, the Shah was no longer in power, the family left, including the prince. Well, today that prince is in his 60s, I'm pretty sure. And as the heat rose on Iran, people started to look at Prince Pahlavi and say, you're the guy, you're the obvious person who should go in and take charge of Iran. The only problem was, that this guy had been living the high life in London for the longest time. And he hadn't run any organizations. He hadn't headed any cause, hadn't been involved in any political party. He was a party animal, not a party official. Okay. And so now he's suddenly thrust into this position for which he was not ready. But now he realized, and here's the problem. Everybody's looking to this guy to lead them. Even if he's not ready, they're still looking to him for leadership.
Okay. Anyone that is looking for somebody to lead them, they're not right in their minds, number one.
Well, I'm sorry. We're talking about a nation here, okay? So then everybody in Iran's out of their minds.
I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Anybody that believes, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you believe that someone should tell you how to live your life and what you can do, what you can't do, what laws that they just make up. You got to look who's behind these people, number one.
Yeah. All right. So what do you think? Would you rather have the Ayatollahs murdering people left and right and doing the things they do?
How do you know anybody's murdering anybody? We're not there.
I don't know. I think if you have videos, all right, so then everybody's full of shit then. Everybody's full of shit. Doesn't matter if you have somebody who's from Iran who tells you I was there and I saw it. You still say, oh, it's a plant, it's made up, it's this, it's that. You never believe anything.
All you can control is what you can see in front of your eyes and your ears in front of you. Don't believe all the hype.
Okay. There's the old saying from the Marines, believe nothing of what you see and half of what you hear.
I'm just saying, Court.
Yes.
It's just, you know.
At some point, there's
a little more peaceful. There's no, like, this has to come down to these, not regimes. That's not what the word I'm looking for. Like, what would you call Rome? An empire, right? So, why did
well, now, to be clear, there was hold on. There was a time when Rome was a republic, and then it became an empire.
Eric, help me here.
What do you need, Rick?
I'm sure Eric is understanding where I'm going with this because we tend to have the same thinking. We don't have to always be on the same level, but we definitely have the same thinking when it comes to these wars and other things that are going on around the world.
Well, let's see. Let's pick one. How about the border conflict that's been going on for decades between India and Pakistan? What about that one?
I don't know anybody from India or Pakistan.
Oh, and so this conflict doesn't exist then?
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I just don't know anybody that I know from out there. So
okay, so these news accounts of these fights, then that's all made up?
Yeah, but where are you getting that information from?
I'm sorry, it's from my trusted news sources. Right.
And that's where things go haywire.
Well,
right.
Depends. Right. Okay. If you have different people giving different accounts, now you have to sort out those differences and arrive at a conclusion. But if you're getting a consistent pattern, it's like, So, for example, I'll give you the inconsistent one. So you had the conflict between Pakistan and Iran had reached a level now where they were actually sending out jet fighters to fight each other, and there were different accounts about who was doing a better job than who. For example. So pick your side. And meantime, was the Indian Air Force beating the Pakistani Air Force? Was the Pakistani Air Force beating the Indian Air Force? Like it matters, but it mattered to them.
I had a long day doing a rock show. Now I'm getting into this. This is crazy, but okay.
Yes, you're right. Well, we can argue about rock music.
No, we're not switching it up now, Court.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to just go back. This point about Prince Pahlavi, you got to pay attention to this only because at least Jason and I have had endless back and forth about how nothing is happening, okay? And all this stuff about Trump is a patsy and all this other bullshit.
I told you that he's the biggest patsy for Israel ever.
No.
And just pay very close attention.
All
I
right.
said
So
he-
what? All right. No. The place you have to go with this is that Prince Pahlavi will be a big patsy for Israel.
Well, maybe all of them.
All right.
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't.
Remember,
No.
I have a video of this girl that was in Taiwan going, if it wasn't for my money, you wouldn't have a country. And I'm not going to say what country she was from, but I think you know. And I couldn't believe I know.
No. It wasn't for my money.
Oh yeah, that I know what he's talking about.
Who is this?
Oh, you saw it?
Well, no, I mean I know what the reference. You can't say the name of the country on YouTube because, you know,
I
you
don't
can
want to
get,
get you in trouble.
yeah, well, you can get
So what's
flagged.
the first letter?
It's
I have a dream.
All right. So there's
Martin
India.
Luther King. Does that help you?
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
All right.
Did I pull that one
Oh,
out?
let's just say that it's a country that is in the Middle East, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, anyway. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know why that was said. And I actually addressed. I think the guy's name was Chaim something or other.
That posted the video.
No. This is about the money and why, you know, like who helped us during the fund America during the revolution. And
Oh, all right.
kinds
Yeah.
of stuff.
Chaim Solomon. Yeah.
Hi.
Chaim Solomon. Yes.
Right. Yeah. He was one of many players.
Mhm.
So,
Left. I mean, where are we now? Derby, Ansonia?
I used to live in Monroe.
No, we're not that. No, we're not in Monroe. We're like I'm bringing Nugget home.
Okay. Yes.
Nugget. So for Eric and viewers that don't know, Nugget is my he's my. I don't even call you my employee. That doesn't mean.
How about main?
Like,
how about main squeeze?
He's yeah. Hey, dude, we had to go up Gaylord Drive the other day.
That's funny.
No, we're not gay. So, but what? The cops are up here? What? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried. So
Go
straight down the hill. Where we
go that way into the shell.
Oh, you want to go into there? Okay. Sorry, guys. Nugget's got me on a mission here, and we're going through construction. Hold on. Wow. Right here.
Blinker.
I don't need a blinker. There's no one around.
All right. So, meantime, while you're pondering this, I need to emphasize that, in fact, day by day, we're coming closer to where the shit's going to hit the fan with Iran. British and German governments are now evacuating their diplomats from Iran. That usually precedes open conflict.
Eric, do you know anything about Albert Pike?
Albert Pike? No.
Albert Pike.
No. Who's Albert Pike?
So this is their final step. And I told you, it's you can help if you need to. Oh, you didn't say that. Sorry. Nugget's talking to me again. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's my.
Okay. Anyway, so let's put this away for now. I think enough has been said on the subject, but you're moving on to other things here.
No. Here it is.
Okay.
Warm.
Anyway, so while that's going on,
All right. So Albert Pike was an American lawyer, writer, poet, Confederate officer, and one of the most influential figures in the history of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. He was born in Boston, moved west in the 1830s, and settled in Arkansas. Why he is historically important: Pike became sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite Southern jurisdiction in 1859, remained in that office until his death, and into 1891. Civil War career, why he remains controversial. Pike supported the Confederacy and the Southern racial order of his era. He was also repeatedly been described as a founder or high-ranking officer of the original Ku Klux Klan. However, the historical record is disputed. Some later Klan histories identify him as a Klan official, while Pike biographers have said no reliable contemporary documentation proves formal membership. So,
Okay. All right.
He's frequently associated online with an alleged Luciferian speeches, secret plans for world wars, and Satan worship. Many of the many
He went. I know. I saw the guy. The guy pointed.
many of the most sensational quotations attributed to him
Eric.
derived from the 19th century Leo Taxil hoax or later supported publications rather than authenticated Pike documents. That does not mean his writings were conventional Christianity.
Okay.
He said
Yes.
that World War III, they were going to blow Israel off the map.
When?
Whatever was going to happen. He never
Wait.
gave a time.
No.
Okay.
What? No. What year did he say this?
Oh, I'm driving, Cor. I don't have my papers or anything.
All right. So this guy was a Confederate
sure
officer.
Eric, I'm sure Eric can find it because he's right there, right when they talk about all the World War I, World War II, World War III. Right now, he only wrote about it, but he became like a cult leader, and there are people that believe in that. This is. They're following it to a T. I'm not going to say who.
Okay. Well, I'll say the deep state. How's that sound?
Well, yeah, but there's a conjecture that well, this kind of dovetails with the whole sort of evangelical prophetic vision of the Zionist movement and the Greater Israel Project, or Israel, if you will. With respect to, establishing the second coming and that sort of thing. So, and I think that some of these writings come out of the Schofield Bible, but I could be mistaken about that. But I understand that was like one component of it or whatever. Okay. But yeah, you don't have much time, but we can get into this in another.
What's that?
I said, I like that we're educating court and the audience
sure.
a little.
Well, Albert Pike.
Maybe look into this stuff, just a little. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying, hey, it seems like we're in a time and place that is just gone haywire.
Yes, I would say some people might like the title Encyclopedia of the Weird.
Okay, so so Pike argued that the seven seals, the seven trumpets, the seven bowls represent mysteries, trials, stages of spiritual knowledge. Sure. Revelation was written through numbers, images, and symbolic language. Yes. Its deeper meaning was supposedly intended for spiritually initiated readers rather than general public. I mean, that's something I can agree. I could somewhat agree with. Revelation would be compared with Jewish mystical writings, such as the Zohar, the Sefer Yetzirah, and its ultimate theme was the triumph of divine truth and goodness over evil.
This gets interesting. That's good.
Pike calls Revelation a Kabbalistic and prophetic summary of all the occult figures.
I never considered that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's one interpretation, but sure. I wouldn't. I mean,
it's an
there's a lot of there's a variety of different ways to, and I guess this was why there was such an aversion to having put the scriptures in the average John and Jane Q. Public's hand, is because they weren't able to control what interpretations meant. But certainly, I mean, I've heard a variety of similar reads on the Book of Revelation, but that's really not my sense of it at all. There's a guy by the name of Rolf, which he's a German guy, and he basically breaks down a lot of the Book of Revelation in a fashion that I am very familiar with, which I would find fascinating. I could actually try to throw the link at you. It's a tedious watch for probably most people. Most people aren't.
So how long is it?
I think it's like maybe 15 or 20 minutes long.
That's not tedious.
Well, I know, but
What did he say? I couldn't hear. How many?
No, the 15 to 20 minutes for this explanation of the
Easy
Book of
one.
Revelation.
The ones I send court are like 6 hours long.
Yes, that's
Because
true.
They're very
All right.
descriptive.
Okay, but so all right. I need to interject here because we're running out of time. Remember, if we hit the 2-hour mark, this whole broadcast is a waste of time. So
right.
we've got 10 minutes left, and I need to put in a plug here. The Connecticut Homeschool Network annual conference. We'll be bringing it up again. But anybody who cares about homeschooling, it's going to be Saturday, August 15th, noon to 4 p.m. at 72 Broad Street. 72 Broad Street in Groton, Connecticut. What?
Are they trying to pass legislation that said that the government could just come in and take your children from you?
No,
Because
I don't
you're
know.
homeschooling them?
No. Well, no, that is not my understanding. My understanding is that everybody has to have a background check conducted on them if they want to.
Oh,
Okay.
let's have a background check from the government to see how.
Yeah,
teaching
no,
my child.
all right. Well, this,
Oh.
all right. Well, this is supposed to be implemented in 2027. So the point is to look for a way in which to enable parents to, quote, not comply. And then, so the part, I'm just going to mention it quickly because we're running out of time. They're called private membership associations. It's where people, the rights of free speech and the freedom of assembly are expressed in the form of a private contract. And on that basis, the government's not supposed to have the kind of overreach that we are seeing with this law that was passed in Connecticut for homeschooling. So if
So what
people
are they gonna
become,
do?
so if
If
people
I'm
become
homeschooling
members,
somebody, he's gonna come and grab my kid.
so when
and
people,
say, "No,
no, when people become members of a private membership association, in theory, the government can't touch them. Or if they do, it's going to be very hard. So
Well, why
that's
would
my
the
point.
government even need to be involved in how I'm educating my child?
All right, their excuse is about child safety, right? So since they deferred,
Oh, there's that key word.
that's right,
Safety.
that's right,
Safety
There
is
you go.
the key word.
right. Well, anyway, so
Actually, I'm sorry, Court.
yes, well, we all got
I
it.
was mistaken. They're over. One is about 40 minutes, and the other one is like over an hour, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay,
All right.
but we got to go. So,
All right. Thank you, Court. Good talking with you.
all right,
Eric,
later.
great points tonight.
All right.
I'm
All right.
like winding up stuff that I'm like,